You know what shits me? Fall Guys. Now, before I start talking about this, I want to say, take everything I say with a grain of salt with this one. Because with the state of online games, such as Fall Guys, with active developers, things constantly change. Bugs or features are constantly changed and removed or added and stuff like that. So, really, any problems or nitpicks or issues that I have might just not be in the game in a month's time. My point is, I'm very aware that this could change and it's maybe just a temporary thing, but still, I want to bring it up. Alright, without any further ado, let's get into the first point. And that would be creative mode. Which, yes, it's a good thing. And for a change of pace, I am actually going to start with some pros. The major pro being that the player base is now able to create levels. They are now able to breathe life into ideas that they might have once had and actually put it into the game for other players to play and even enjoy. Which is actually really cool. I love this idea. I mean, it could have even been in the game sooner. It's great. Additionally, it even means that the official developers can put them into the official game. And it's not like this hasn't been done before. I mean, Team Fortress 2 grabs cosmetics and taunts and that sort of thing from the Steam Workshop, ever since Valve has stopped developing it themselves. And Rivals of Aether have officially put 4 community-made characters into the game, which even made it into the Switch port. That's incredible. And so, of course, Fall Guys can do it too. But it's how they've been entered into the game is where I have my problems. You see, community maps have now been entered into the main rotation of maps, and you can't escape them. They're in solos, squads, and duos. You can't get away from them. Now, I understand that this is so that these maps can gain exposure, and that the developers can see if the community actually likes them. And that's fine, but by doing this, they've kind of just robbed those slots from official maps that are really good and really enjoyable. And said official maps have now just been voided. They just don't exist. They've been banished to the Shadow Realm. And there's real issues there. Now, alright, how would I fix this issue? There's too many community maps. Well, I'd only put like 1 community map per run. And sure, that limits the amount of exposure that they get, but that's because putting them into the main rotation of maps is the wrong way to go about this. The correct way that I would implement to expose these maps and see what the people think is to make events out of them. These events have been done before, that have unlocked unique cosmetics and costumes, and that all the players would have to do is complete a series of tasks that they would have about a week to complete. These are nothing new. So, it'd be extremely similar here. There would be an additional mode where it would only give you these community maps, and you can rate them, right? And for doing this, it will give you several rewards, whether it be kudos, fame points, or if you really want them to do it, you can give them Showbucks. I'll get into why I hate Showbucks later. But I think this would be a way more effective and honestly just less frustrating way to not only expose these maps but get valuable feedback so you can properly put them into the game if that's what their aim is, and then refine them if they need to, yada yada yada. About that grain of salt. I played some more Fall Guys, and guess what? They kind of fixed the issue. Like, if you don't want creative maps, they just kind of took it out. So, because there's now just 2 different modes. There's just your regular stuff where you won't get community maps, and then you got Knockout, which you will get community maps and regular maps. But I mean, it still doesn't encourage you to play them, so there's still that. That's still unaddressed, but that's what I mean by a grain of salt. It's already being changed. Alright, map rotations could do with some work, and community maps need better handling. Now it's time to move on. I want to talk about the transition to Epic Games, and what I'm more referring to is how it became free and the new introduction of Showbucks. On release, Fall Guys was on Steam, and it went for about $30 AUD. But then, Epic Games made a deal and got their hands on it, and as they tend to do, they made it free to play. Because it was free, they needed a new way to make money that wasn't just the sale price. And that was of course through microtransactions. Currency within the game that needed to be paid for with real money. Of course, this came in the form of Showbucks. These Showbucks, while primarily something you have to pay for, can be obtained through the Fame Passes. However, what you gain from the Fame Passes without paying for the full thing does not give you a substantial enough amount of these Showbucks to actually buy anything worthwhile. So, the way you get more is obviously to pay. They entice you to buy this by putting out cool costumes. These costumes can range from this to that. And these can even be some third-party characters like Godzilla, SpongeBob, and other stuff. In the gaming industry, this is very common. Having players pay for additional content that would appeal to them for various different reasons as a way to gain additional profit. Before there was Showbucks, there were crowns. Crowns you would get after you would win a game. This made winning all the more rewarding because with these crowns, you could get some deluxe items, shall we say. From Scout to Peabody, essentially the sort of stuff that the Showbucks would now get you. So what you would before get with skill and maybe a bit of luck, well, just playing the game well, you now get by paying money. Which just sucks. It's a terrible trade-off to go from paying about $30 up front to paying nothing and then paying $30 for something like, look here, for this one skin you have to pay $11, which is almost half of the original sale price when it was on Steam. I don't think I need to explain too in-depthly, right, why this is just fucking infuriating. What was once a reward for good gameplay and success is now just barred behind money. Another little thing that shits me about the current set of Fall Guys is the fact that you can't queue for multiple modes at once. Instead, you now only have to choose one. But before, if I couldn't decide between mode A and B, I could just pick both and it would put me in whichever one I got into first. And that was fine, you know, I had a lot of variety there. But now I just have to choose. This one's definitely a minor nitpick and doesn't really bother me as much, and certainly isn't that much of a problem, but I just don't understand why it's not in the game anymore. But, I don't know. That's all I got. The Fall Guys shits me, but I still like the game. I just... It's not at its peak anymore, and I hope it's just not as good as it once was. And I hope it can claw its way back, because, as I said, it's a good game, but... in short, map rotations suck. Creative levels are weird. Showbucks are awful. Bring back crowns. And yeah, that's kind of it.